show. But Johnny, any additional statements there?
Yeah, I think Abs kind of touches, what we try to do is help people stay level-headed. One of the biggest things we hear all the time is we love your authenticity. We just say it right from the heart, what we really feel and mean. And sometimes, there's a lot of people out there, Solomon, that just pump up hopium, right? They're just giving hopium to the field. We won't do that. We kind of let people know how we feel, what we think is going to happen. And sometimes it's things they want to hear, sometimes it's not. And that's what I think we get a lot of appreciation for is just kind of telling what we think is where things are going and put some realism back into the space. Because as you know, there are people talking about, oh, this coin's going that, this is doing that, we're going to the moon. And the reality is a lot of people are losing money because they're believing these kinds of things. So that's what we're trying to do is shape this thing, bring it to reality. And another thing we do is we love bringing other influencers on the show. We're all about bringing the community together, kind of like you, the way you're working and building and you're working with developers and bringing people together. We try to do the same exact thing with influencers. We want everybody to get along and be working together because just that way we all rise together. We're all trying to accomplish the same thing, which is help people understand crypto isn't a scam. Blockchains aren't a scam. They're a real technology. They provide cheaper, better solutions to the bottom line to companies, and they will drive the world in the future.
Yeah, and I know, like you guys mentioned, I think I was on Good Morning Crypto, maybe it was like 3 or 4 years ago. So you guys have been doing it for a while. But like Abs mentioned, back then, it's just amazing to me. Like, and I know Abs, you said this before we kind of went live here. It's like almost every single week we get something that is, I would say 3 or 4 years ago would have literally been a narrative for 6 months straight. But now it's like almost on a every 2, 3, 4 day basis. Like you literally have Bank of America CEO saying, we're ready to go live with crypto payments. And you have Larry Fink of BlackRock being like, we want to tokenize stocks and bonds. And all this real world adoption is wild. And I think, it's really interesting that we've been here talking about this for years and to kind of see all this stuff coming to fruition. It's like, wow, we actually weren't crazy. Like this stuff is actually coming to fruition. But I could ramble about that forever. Johnny, I would love if you could like load up the app and we can see what you guys have built and start walking through it a little bit. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be great. I've got I got our website loaded up here. So let me just give a little background real quick of why we did this. When we first got into the space, Abs and I, in 2021, we were in the Rubberneck Club. I don't know if you know what the Rubberneck Club is. That's where you do this wonderful exercise of watching your account go all the way up, and then you watch it come all the way down. And basically, that's what we did. And when in the Rubberneck Club, it's not really a great thing. A year later, we're like, holy cow, all my money's gone, right? So we just didn't take enough profits. We really didn't know what we were doing. And so the reason why we invented Merlin was really to start helping people understand two things. One, the markets are driven very, very much by emotion. And we wanted to take the emotion out of it. And the second thing is learn to take profits on the way up because nothing ever goes all the way up like this. Unless you're in a Bernie Madoff investment, okay? That's the only one that's going to go this way. There is nothing that does that. Everything goes up and then it comes back down. And we know in these crypto bull markets, you've seen it, Solomon, these things can go up dramatically, but then they'll come crashing down 70, 80, 90% on the back end. And then the next 3 or 4 years, you're sitting waiting for the next market, next bull run to come up. So we thought, okay, how do we create discipline? How do we take emotion out of the market? And how do we create a tool for ourselves? And this was originally designed just for inside of Coach JV's Academy. Shout out to Coach. He's like, even Coach said he didn't take enough profits on the way up, and we needed to have a tool. So we embedded this spreadsheet in there to be able to help you keep track of kind of what you're doing. Well, pretty quickly we realized spreadsheets don't work. I mean, they're helpful for like a snapshot in time, but they're not good for being able to help you track where things are going and how things are looking at a moment's notice. And voila, that's where Merlin comes in. It basically allows you to bring all your coins and tokens in one place so you can see everything in one spot. One of the biggest things we saw was when things were pumping, you don't know what your account is doing. People on average have 6 to 7 coin exchanges or wallets. So you got Kraken, you got Coinbase, you got Binance, you got MetaMask, you got Ledger. You don't know what things. So you got all your coins in different places. Then the second problem is you don't know what your average price is. So you don't know. You see your total portfolio on all those different exchanges and wallets, but what does it mean? Is one coin up or 3 coins down? You have no idea what's going on. And so that's what we did here at Merlin, was to kind of bring all of that stuff in one place. So basically you can see what's going on. So we created this interface. Actually, before I hop into and going through it, I don't know, Abs, if you had anything you want to
I have to say, before you hop in, and your tabs look just like my tabs across the top with how many you have up there.
That's just standard in our space. I think anybody who goes through the crypto news on a daily basis has at least 24 tabs open at the top of their computer. Johnny, the only thing I would add is that one of the things we noticed going through prior cycles in 2017 and 2021 is that there's really only a 12-week period where 90% of these altcoins have their explosive price runs. So if you're in that 3-month bull market and you think that this is the new norm, that your $2 XRP is now going to be $589, you're not going to capitalize on the profit. And that was a big mistake that we made back in the day, right? We were sitting there at $1.90 in 2021 stating, oh, I'm going to be taking profit at $5. We didn't get there, and we're still not there nearly 3.5 years later. So the big idea here, guys, is that we only get about 3 months of bullish price action. And if you don't capitalize on that, you wait 3 or 4 years for another opportunity.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, how many people do you know that I like to kind of joke around a little bit and be like, when the guy at the water cooler at your office starts asking you about crypto because he knows you're in crypto, you know that that's like a trigger that we're close to the end of the cycle. And then people leave because they get totally burnt, because there's like, I mean, historically, if you think about it, and I'll say, like, when you guys watched me through this like a few weeks ago, I found it super interesting just because, like, I guess what would be similar to something like this right now would be like the people that use like some of the accounting software in crypto. But the problems with those is like they are all over the place. I mean, you get stuff that like appears to look like it's airdropped in. Like, I was using accounting software and I logged into my accounting software and it's like, your portfolio is worth $1.75 million. And I'm like, you have the wrong person, because I definitely don't have that much in crypto. And it's like some random coin that got airdropped into your account and into my account. But Johnny, I would love if you could walk us through, because I think what's even, more important within this is allowing people to like set targets for themselves that make sense to them. And then you had mentioned in the past, even like having some fib overlays and stuff so that you can really help educate people. Like, the odds of XRP going to $20,000 are fairly low compared to like the full fib extension. And what is the full fib extension? Is it like 4 or 5, 6, whatever it is, $6? But yeah, I could keep rambling if you guys want to continue.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You actually nailed it. Right at the end of the day, there is a very small window, as Abs talked about. You got about 3 to 4 weeks in total, maybe 12 weeks out of the whole year, where there's maximum profit times. And in those times, that's where you want to take advantage of those. So what we've done here is, we got a crypto tracking app, but we added that extra kick of building an exit plan and an exit tool inside of it. And I'll walk you through that in a second. Basically, we created an interface where you can bring all your coins into Merlin through 2 simple ways. You can either connect your exchanges and wallets directly, or you can add a coin manually. Very easy. The connection tool is pretty cool, because if you connect through the tool, basically this will allow you to connect all these different exchanges and wallets that you see we have here. And then anytime you do something, automatically Merlin will catch those. It'll capture those and will update automatically what's going on, so you don't have to do that. So that's what we've done. And the beautiful thing about this is everybody's like, oh my God, my keys, my coins. Guess what? We don't own your keys. We don't own your coins. All we have, all that connection does is give us permission. It's an API permission that allows you to be able to share your transactions with us, so we can read them and show them. We don't buy sells. We don't sell coins. We don't withdraw. So your coins are 100% safe because they're not here. This is just like a monitor, right? We're just showing you what's going on. We're not actually a custody. We're not a wallet. We're not an exchange. So there's no risk here whatsoever of having this tracking app. So here's the cool thing, Solomon. I've uploaded some coins in here already. I've connected an exchange. And what you can see here is this brings everything all into one spot. I have everything I need now to be able to make a decision and to see what's going on with my portfolio. So, for example, I can see here what my total gain is for the day. I can see what my total gain is overall. I can see my total value. I can see my portfolio performance over time. And this is my favorite part. I actually can see what's going on with all my different coins. So if I want to be able to see, for example, I can see all my holdings all in one place. And within that, I can see how many coins I have for each one. I can see the current price. Today's a red day, so everything's kind of down. We've got an allocation toolbar, so you can actually see exactly how you've allocated your portfolio, where you put your money. So 57% of my money is in XRP in this example, in this demo. It's just a demo, guys, so don't get excited. And then you can see this, to me, is the favorite column, right? I can actually see now what is going on today. So, for example, my daily gains and losses, I can see what my biggest gain today, my biggest loser, right? Gain or loser is. And then I can see overall what my total gain is. So if I wanted to take some profits. And the best part, my average price. So all, because we can read your transactions, we can pull that all in, and Merlin can kind of tell you what your average price is on those exchanges. Now, one of the things that you talked about that happened to me as well when I was using a competitor's tracking app before we created this is one day I woke up and my account was worth like 1.5 million. I'm like, what the hell? What do you mean 1.5? I got all, it was in the middle of bull run stuff, but I got excited. I thought it was real, And then I realized, in this space, there's a lot of coins with the same ticker symbol. And so it turned out the app I was using thought I had the $5,000 coin. I had the 5-cent coin. And so needless to say, when I went in to go fix it, I couldn't change the coin price. I couldn't update the app. I couldn't remove the coin. I couldn't edit. I couldn't do anything. And I'm like, this app is stupid because now I'm paying so much for a month for this app, and it's giving me a completely wrong number. I couldn't use it, and I canceled my service, right? So we built into Merlin the ability, if you're in any coin and you have a challenge like that, where, example, it's not showing either the right price or the right coin, you can just come into the edit coin button here, and you can edit your coin. And right here, we allow you to, you can change the ticker symbol. You can edit your average cost price. So all those different things to get your portfolio right.
Yeah.
That was mission number one, is the app has to work. And if it's in, listen, a lot of things are out of our control as app developers because we're connected to the APIs of the exchanges. Whatever they send you, you're stuck with whatever information they send you. So we fix that. We put things in place. And that's why we call it the smartest way to track your crypto, because we can really get it exactly to what your account is doing.
I think it's cool. I mean, one of the things we talked about this, and you mentioned like future features and stuff like that, where, I guess my first thought is, you mentioned like 5 to 6 different wallets or exchanges. I mean, then you like really get into like, I don't know. I think that's like even like a low number. I think a lot of people, like at this point in time, especially people that have been here for years, I mean, you're probably getting up into like 20, 25, 30 different wallets, 30 different whatever.
Yeah.
It is impossible. I mean, one of the things I always think is funny about crypto is like right now it's super transactional. It's not very experience driven or like participation driven. It like acts like it's supposed to be, but it's not. And that's because like if I want to participate in a community in crypto, I have to go to their Discord. I have to go to their Telegram. I have to go to, 3 different places to track what they're doing.
Yep.
Multiply that by 30 or 40 if you are trying to like participate in 30 or 40 different projects or communities or whatever. And it's like the Wild West. It's impossible. It would be you couldn't even do it if you had a full-time job.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that's super interesting. And, we've seen an explosion too with like, looking on like the XRPL with like the stuff that First Ledger did and like memes and stuff like that. And this, I'm not advocating for memes or anything, but I am saying like that even opens it up more where people were doing stuff so much quicker because it's easier to do things. I would imagine that people aren't necessarily tracking stuff as well as they probably could be. So like,
right.
Same thing on Hedera. I know that like the meme economy stuff is just starting, and I know that's like a future thing that you guys have talked about potentially integrating, but I think it's a really cool, additional value add because these people are self-tracking stuff literally by manually opening up their wallet instead of going to one place.
Yeah. And that's, so you mentioned that it's so important. And what we have, not only do we have an assets page, but we also have an exchanges page. So once you've connected exchanges either manually or automatically, you'll see here now that all of those individual exchanges, in this example, there's 8 or 9 of them. And you're right. Most people do have like 9 or 10 or more. You could see here, you can actually see all of the individual exchanges you've added. You can actually see the number of tokens on each one. You can see what the daily gain and the total gain is on each one as well. So we tried to show people on the assets page what all your assets are combined together. And then on the exchange page, you can actually see each of the individual locations where you've got coins, and you can see what they're doing all in a quick glimpse in a nutshell. We're trying to bring everything to people's fingertips so you can kind of see what's going on. What, you know, like you said, people are busy, don't have a lot of time. And in the bull run times, people were looking at their phones. No kidding, 20 to 25 times per day. I thought I was doing a nut job doing it until I started talking to people when we were researching. Like, yeah, I look at it 20 times a day. I'm like, holy crap. So people are nervous, right? They were very nervous about what was going on because they had no clue. And they didn't want to miss something. They didn't want to miss a sell. And so they were very, very anxious of staying on top of it because there was no good way to do it. You're checking this wall. You're checking that wall. You're checking all these different things. Now, with Merlin, people tell me they look at their phone once or twice a day. That's it. Because Merlin, and I'm going to get into a second, is going to actually send you an alert when your targets are reached. So you don't have to sit there and try to figure out, where is it at? And do I want to sell? And most people, to be honest with you, Solomon, don't even know they want to sell. They haven't thought far enough ahead to start thinking about, hey, I need to create a plan. I need to know, when you plan a trip and you go away, you plan the flight on the way out, and you also plan the flight on the way back home. You plan a round trip, right?
Yeah.
Most people don't do that when they buy a crypto.
No, and that's the most dangerous thing about it in general is like people can mentally set a plan, be like, and be like, oh, if XRP goes to this, I'm going to do that. Or if HBAR goes to this, I'm going to do that. Or if any asset does whatever. But I guarantee you, as soon as that thing that you mentally talked about happens and you don't have it written down, or you don't have it like nailed, like etched in stone, the biggest killers in this entire space for people that can be here for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years and keep being here is like fear and greed, right? Because as soon as prices go up and you think that you're going to do something, I can guarantee 99% of people won't do it, won't do what they said they were going to do. And same thing if prices go down and there's opportunities in this space. It's like, it's you should feel sick pretty much when you make any sort of decision if you're potentially doing it right. You should feel sick by selling, and you should feel sick by buying, and that's how you know that you're probably in the ballpark of like doing it right. And something like this where you don't have to think about it, because I mean, if I were to use this, what I would potentially do is I would sit down and be like, I'm not going to necessarily become a millionaire, but how can I incrementally change my life a little bit, cycle to cycle? What's it going to take? And I would etch it out right in here and literally be like, okay, this is what it is. And it's much easier to stick to something that you've really thought out well, and you spend time thinking out, because once prices start doing whatever they do, you're not thinking like you're not thinking well. So yeah.
No, you nailed it. That's exactly right. We get extremely emotional and we make the wrong decisions. And that's what we're trying to do here, is to be able to not let people make the wrong decision, to be able to take the emotion out of it. And let me hop into what an exit plan looks like. And actually, we're going to create one together on the air right now, because this is how simple it is. You can see here all the ones that have the exit sign next to it means I created an exit plan, but I haven't created one for HBAR. So let's hop into HBAR, and we're going to go and create an exit. So when you come into Merlin, you're going to see, you can tell you a little bit of information about the coin that you own, a little bit of tokenomics. It'll show you where you have it loaded, and then it will give you the option, if you haven't created an exit strategy, to create one. So we're just going to click this button, and this is where the planning comes in. Now it forces you to think ahead of time and make a plan now, not in the middle of the bull run when things are pumping, but right now when it's calm and you can sit down and work this through. Now, what the first thing Merlin will show you is it'll show you how many coins you have, and it will show you the average price. 2 key pieces of information you have to have, right? So now that I know how many coins I have and what I bought it at, I've got to decide the first thing, how many do I want to sell in this upcoming, bull run, or whatever you want to call what's coming up next, and how many do I want to hold for the future? So for the purpose of this example, let's just say we want to hold, let's say we want to sell 40% and we're going to hold 60. Okay. So Merlin's going to say, okay, cool. You want to sell 40%? You got 100,000 coins. So we're going to sell 40,000 and we're going to keep 60. Now we're going to go and we're going to tell it what price points do we want to sell it at. So for the purpose of this conversation, let's just say $1, $2, and $3. And then we're going to tell it, maybe let's say we want to sell 30% at point number 1, 40% of our coins at point number 2, and let's say another 30 at point number 3. And you can add more targets very easily by just clicking add exit target. And for the purpose of this demo, we'll just do the 3. But it's that simple. Then I hit save, and that's it. I'm done. Now, we'll just close this out, and there it is. Bang. We can actually see our exit plan for HBAR, and we can see here that we told it our plan is a 40-60 plan. So the coins we want to sell are all going to be right here. It's telling us 40,000. Here we're holding 60. We see our targets, $1, $2, and $3. The best part is we don't have to do any math in our head and say, well, how many do I need to sell? Well, you already told Merlin you want to sell 30% at target number 1. So it's going to tell me 12,000 coins. And then it's going to show me what that proceed is. And in green, you see the profit. And the best part is if we hit all these targets, we can see what our total profit's going to be. And we can see here what we owe Uncle Sam. Don't forget, Uncle Sam's going to get this up. We got to set that aside for Uncle Sam. And the best part is once this is in here, now I'm going to get text and email alerts when these things happen. And we actually, because the markets move so quick, Solomon, we actually built it where you're going to get a pre-alert. So as you're about 10% away from your first target, $1, around 90 cents, you're going to start getting alerts saying, hey, we're getting close. And then when you hit the target, you're going to get another alert saying, hey, we've hit your target. And so this way, you know, it's time to go in and sell. And now all you got to do is go into your exchange. Merlin doesn't sell right now. You just go into your exchange and you go you hit the sell button. And you said something important. I'll never forget when I hit my first target, it was in Cardano about 3 years ago, around 250, 260. I put it in and I couldn't hit the sell button. Like you said, I was so the fear of missing out that was going to keep going up. I didn't want to press it. And I'll never forget, Coach said something to me that stuck with me forever. He said, Johnny, I made an exit plan and I'm going to stick to it. And when those words went through my head, I said, you know what? And I hit the sell button. And at the time, I felt sick because the next 3 days it kept going up and I was sick on my stomach, right? Went up to like $3. But fast forward a year later, Cardano was at 30 cents. I had sold at 240. Ask me if I felt like crap then. I was like, I felt like a genius. So I was like, and you know what I said to myself? Thank God I stuck to my exit plan, I said, because that money was sitting on the side that I was able to reinvest in a bear market. And it was all because I had discipline. I created a plan and I stuck to the plan. And, at the time, sure, everybody thought Cardano was going to $8, $9. That's what they're going to make you think. But it's not. It's going to come crashing back down and you're going to regret. You're going to be in the rubberneck club. You do this and do that like me and Habs did in the past if you don't have a plan. That's why we encourage everybody to try Merlin. Free 30 days. You go to merlincrypto.com. I don't know if the link's below, but you can go to merlincrypto.com. Try us out. We give everybody a free 30-day trial because we want people to try it and use it. And if you decide you don't want to, you can cancel in 30 days and you won't be charged.
That's super cool. Go ahead, Abs.
I was going to say the biggest thing that I've realized, 2 things, right? If anybody really wanted to, they could get in there, create an exit plan. We believe our product's so good that after you create your exit plan, you're going to continue to use the Merlin application. So just a reminder, guys, if you want to just use the product for the exit plan, 30 days completely free. Get in there, take advantage of our product. That's why we created it. Second thing is this, Solomon, you referenced it earlier. Even in early December, I believe it was, when this market was moving on HBAR and XRP and Cardano, the number one narrative, it wasn't appreciation. It wasn't gratitude. It was, we're going higher. We're going to $5. We're going to see a dollar HBAR. I remember all of these narratives. So what I did and what I think Merlin does for people is it removes that emotion, because at the end of the day, even if XRP went to $5, I have a plan for that. If XRP went to $200, I have a plan for that. Now, just being totally transparent, we're not getting there, right? And something that we often say on our channel is you're not going to get rich through one crypto cycle. I think a lot of people who come into this market with no experience think that they can turn $10,000 into $1 million. Yeah. I don't believe that's possible. I don't think that's totally realistic. What I do think is possible is if you give yourself a 7 to 8 year window and you're patient through 2 bull markets, I think you can have some really exciting financial goals. So that would be my 2 cents on the topic.
Before you guys hop, Johnny, I would love if you could tell us just real briefly, like what future integrations are going to be coming down the pipeline. I know that you mentioned potentially having like, really simple fib charts, Fibonacci charts in there, or down the line, even the ability to buy and sell. But I know that's way further down the line, and it comes with obviously a whole boatload more liability. But But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I would love if you could tell us kind of what's in the near term here, and yeah, and thank you guys for hopping on today.
Yeah. So we're working a couple things. We are working on making some improvements on the actual dashboard, making things more sortable. So that's coming very soon. We're also working on, you talked about something important. The biggest question we get asked all the time is, Johnny, I love the app. I love the idea of creating an exit plan, but I don't know how to pick my exit targets. How do I do that? So we've created it in Merlin here, and to get started there, we have a how-to video. If you're part of Merlin, you can actually access it, and it's how to determine exit targets. And there's a video in here that teaches you how to use what's called the Fibonacci tool.
Yeah.
Fibonacci tool is a very, very good tool to be able to predict kind of where the future prices may go at certain levels. But it takes some training and learning to do. So while we have the video here and people can learn it and use it if you're here in Merlin, one of the things we want to integrate and build into Merlin is the ability to have this tool work and predict those tools. So create like a predictive tool for you in the app. So that's something that we're working right now on in the background to be able to kind of bring to users. But right now we do have the video, but to be able to auto pick for you. And then the second thing we are looking at too is potentially auto buys and sells. And then also a third would be, we have an exit target plan. We also want to create entries. So these are all things we're bringing in the future to everybody as we, innovation is the lifeblood of anything. And so we're going to continue to innovate and build things to make the app even more valuable over time. But yeah, so those are kind of exciting times. And right now we're only available, Solomon, in USA and Canada. We are looking to also, another thing we're looking to do is expand globally as well. We have a ton of people from Australia and the UK asking us every day, when can I get it? I want to use the tool. I see it. Stop teasing me, Johnny. Stop teasing me. I want to use it. And we don't have it available yet, but we are working on doing that. And that is something that's also on the roadmap as well.
Awesome. Well, I wanted to, before we transition here, definitely tell you guys to check out the Good Morning Crypto show. Abs does an amazing job. Coach JV and the entire team here, and Johnny. Good Morning Crypto has been, you guys have been doing this show for years at this point in time, just absolutely crushing it. And then you can check out Merlin at merlincrypto.com. And then I think on X it's Get Merlin Crypto, right?
Yes, that Get Merlin Crypto.
Yeah, and Get Merlin Crypto here as well. I really appreciated you guys joining today. I mean, and I know I'm coming on Wednesday on your guys' show. We could probably bullshit for like an hour just on the state of the industry, the markets, and I know that you guys have been all over the place too. And thank you guys so much. Looking forward to the next one. And yeah, super awesome tooling.
Thank you so much, Solomon. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Yes,
okay.
Solomon, thank you so much. We appreciate it too. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bear with us for a second here, guys, as we transition. And super excited to give a huge shout out to Hashpack, obviously, for helping us to put together kind of the all hands Hedera spaces. So we've got a good space for you today. Let me bring up May from Hashpack. Let me bring up Liam. Oh, let me get all the guests up here. They got a lot of them here. Let me bring up Liam from Impart. Let me bring up Honk. I'm not sure who Hero X is, but I'm going to bring you up anyways. I'm going to bring up Jason from Mingo and the man, the myth, the legend himself, the HBAR Bull. So anyways, guys, this is going to be a little bit Wild Westy here. As always, I'm going to maybe kick this off with just maybe some round robin intros briefly. So I'll start with May from Hashpack. And again, shout out to Hashpack for helping us to put these together. May, if you could just give us a tiny intro of yourself, that'd be amazing.
Hey guys, I'm the CEO of the leading wallet on Hedera, and we are super happy to always be supporting the community and bringing awareness to all the projects that are coming in and doing cool things on the network. So hope you like this show and hope you guys check out all the projects that are